I can still hear the words of my mother reverberate in my mind over a decade later. Son, if you do not learn how to tell the truth, you will lose the trust of everyone you love. I was about 8 years old when I had this conversation with my mother, and I had no idea at the time the impact it would have on my life, and I don't think she did either. At this time, I was really struggling to tell the truth and was starting to lie about the smallest of things. But I'm so grateful that I learned to tell the truth early on because of the impact it made in my life. Today, I want to talk to you about my testimony and why it was important that I learned to tell the truth. And secondly, why it's important that all of us tell the truth in our lives because of the work that God can do through that. As we talk about those things, keep the phrase of my mother in your minds. As I jump into my testimony today, it's going to sound very familiar to a lot of you because it's become a common problem in our society today. When I was about 11 years old, I discovered pornography. I struggled with this for about 7 years before I eventually found freedom. About a year into my struggle, I finally reached out to my parents because I had this desire to understand what I was going through. I couldn't reconcile the fact that it felt so good and felt so wrong at the same time. I was too immature at the time to make that connection, and I needed help. So I reached out to them and I asked them to help me be accountable, to ask me every single day, how are you doing in your struggle? And this is why it was so important that I learned to be truthful early on, because the only way I made steps of progress was because I decided to be truthful when they asked me. And that was absolutely huge in my life. The only reason I can stand before you here right now in freedom and not shackled to my past or my addiction is because of the grace of the Lord and the power that the truth has in His Word and in Him. And so I want to talk to you guys about why it's important that everyone tells the truth in their lives and learns how to be honest, because it is God's language. The Bible says that He is the way, the truth, and the life. The language of the devil is lies. He wants to keep you ignorant. He wants to keep you in the shadows. But when you shine the light of God on whatever's going on in your life, it starts to lose its power. That doesn't mean it's easy, but it starts to lose some of that power and you can start to make steps of progress. So here's my challenge to you guys today. What do you need to be honest in your lives about? Do you need to be honest with God? How about your friends or family? Maybe even you need to be honest with yourself about something. As we look today at my testimony and why it was important that I learned to be truthful and why it's important for all of us to be truthful, I want to leave you guys with a quote of my mother. If we do not learn how to be honest, we will lose the trust of everyone we love. Thank you.